24th November 2021 Morning Murli Shanti BapDada Madhuban. Sweet children, you have come here to make your fortune of the kingdom. The more you stay in remembrance and pay attention to your study, the more elevated your fortune will continue to become. Question: by following which Srimad at the confluence age do you make your fortune elevated for 21 births? Answer: at the confluence age, the father Srimad is, sweet children, become viceless. Make full effort to become soul conscious. If you never perform a sinful action, your fortune becomes elevated for 21 births. Song: my fortune having awakened, I have come. Om Shanti. You sweetest spiritual children heard the song. Those who understood the meaning of those two lines should raise their hands. Who said, I have come with my fortune awakened? A soul. The soul of each of you says, I have come with my fortune awakened. But what fortune? The fortune of going to the new world. The new world is heaven, whereas the old world is hell. All souls say this. A soul definitely needs a body, for only then can he speak. The soul is and the living being says, I have come to school to make my fortune. Who is teaching you? Shivbaba, the ocean of knowledge. It is only the one Father who makes human beings into deities, impure beings into pure beings, and residents of hell into residents of heaven. This hell has to be set on fire. There is no other school in the world where children would say that they have come to the unlimited Father, nor is there anyone else who says, I am the Father, the teacher, and the Guru. Even this Brahma cannot say this. Only shivbaba says, I am the Father, the teacher, and the Guru of everyone. He sits here and teaches you. So you children should now make your fortune. You children say, we have come to make our fortune for the kingdom of the new world. We know this old world is to be destroyed. The Father comes and establishes the new world. You are studying to claim your fortune of the kingdom for 21 births. That is, you have come here to make your fortune for the kingdom. You are studying Raj Yoga here. Although the song was composed by filmmakers people, its meaning is now being explained to you again, just as the Father sits here and explains to you the essence of all the Vedas and scriptures. At this time, there is devotion throughout the whole world. In the golden age, there is no devotion, nor temples, etc. You perform devotion for half the cycle and have now found God. At first there was the kingdom of those deities in Bharat. Then while taking 84 births, their fortune became spoiled. Your fortune is now being made once again. The Father has come to make your fortune. He says, children, remember me. You have become very sinful souls. At first there is devotion to Shivbaba alone. That is unadulterated devotion. But then devotion becomes adulterated. Therefore, you children should first of all have the faith that the one who is called God is teaching us. He doesn't have a body of his own, but he sits in this body and speaks just as you souls begin to speak when you enter your bodies. Sometimes a person dies, but then halfway to the cremation ground, he starts to move. Is it that soul this went away and then came back? No, the soul is very subtle and was hiding somewhere. It would be said that the person became unconscious and no one was aware of that. It sometimes happens like that. Sometimes someone even wakes up on the pyre and so he is lifted off the pyre. So what was that? The soul was hiding somewhere and then came back to his own place. When a body has no soul in it, it is a total corpse. The land of souls is the supreme abode. You know, we were residents of that home. First of all, we souls came down from our home to the golden age. The people of Bharat, who were deities, must have come down first. In fact, those who establish a religion remain until the end. Buddhism exists all the time, and Christianity also exists all the time. After they have been established, it is only those of the deity relation, those who used to rule the kingdom, whose name has disappeared. There isn't anyone who says they belong to the deity religion. The father explains that the people of Bharat have forgotten their religion. Our household religion was pure. It was a completely viceless kingdom of emperors and empresses. They are called Goddess Lakshmi and God Narayan. In fact, there is only one God, and he alone is called the ocean of knowledge. Lakshmi and Narayan have no knowledge at all. Only shivbaba is the ocean of knowledge. He sits here and gives knowledge to you children. You are now studying, but you will have forgotten the study when you go there. Now each of you souls understands you have a record of 84 parts recorded in you. You souls are now receiving knowledge. Then you will go and rule your kingdom in the golden age. You say that you have been around the cycle of 84 births and are now claiming the sovereignty of heaven from Baba. Each of you claims your inheritance from the grandfather, but it is according to your own efforts. Thus is not shared equally among you all. On the path of ignorance, it is shared. The unlimited Father says, I am establishing paradise. To claim a high status depends on the efforts you make. The more you remember the Father, the more your sins will be absolved and the purer you will become. Gold is put in a furnace for the alloy to be removed from it, and then it becomes genius, means gold coin. The soul was also real gold and came here to play his part. First of all, the soul is golden age, and then the alloy of silver is mixed in. As a soul becomes a little impure, his power gradually decreases. A building too is at first new, and then it gradually continues to become old. After 100 years, you would say it is old. The world also becomes old and new. It became new 5,000 years ago. Where did the deities who existed in that kingdom go? Having taken 84 births, they have now become old. The soul has become dirty, and so the body has also become dirty. He became ugly from beautiful. Krishna is portrayed as the ugly and beautiful one. He is shown with his feet towards hell and face towards heaven. You too belong to that clan. Your feet are also towards hell and your faces towards heaven. You will now first go to the land beyond sound and then to heaven. The iron age will set on fire. There will be torrential rainfall, fires and earthquakes, etc. Impure souls will settle all their karmic accounts and return home, and only a few will be left. Pure souls will continue to come. Now all are thrones. To use the sword of lust is to prick someone. Here the Father says, you have to become completely viceless. The Father says, remember me, and I will give you the inheritance of heaven, and you will become pure. When you were pure, your household activity was pure. Now you have become impure. The household activity is also impure and vicious. In the golden age, your business activities are honest. There is no need to tell lies there. You only tell lies when there is greed, to earn a lot of money. There you have plenty of wealth. Grain, etc. doesn't cost anything. There no one is poor. Those who make effort well will become emperors and receive palaces studded with the diamonds and jewels. Those who don't make full effort will become subjects. There are the king, queen, prince and princesses and the whole dynasty. Then there will be number-wise subject, the wealthy and the poor. There everyone will be pure. There will be the king, the queen and one advisor. There are not many advisors there. The king has the power of wisdom to rule the kingdom. Therefore, your children should explain in the same way as the father is explaining to you. We people of Bharat were the days. It used to be our kingdom in the golden age when we were residents of heaven. We were pure in our household activity. Then, while gradually becoming impure, we became residents of hell, and we are now once again becoming residents of heaven. This play is predestined. It takes one birth to become residents of heaven and 84 births to become residents of hell. This is shown very clearly in the picture of the ladder. It has now entered your intellects that you will go and rule in heaven. You are now claiming the inheritance from the Father. Only the Father tells you the truth and changes you from an ordinary man into Narayan. Those people who listen to the story of the true Narayan don't really change from ordinary humans into Narayan. Therefore, the story is false. You are sitting here to change from ordinary humans into Narayan. They do not ask you to become pure and to remember the one alone constantly. They relate the story of the true Narayan on the day of the full moon. Now, when the moon is full, it is said to be 16 celestial degrees full. At the end, there is just a very thin crescent of the moon left, and they call this Amavas, the night of total darkness. The golden and silver ages are called the day, and the copper and iron ages are called the night. All of these points have to be understood. Shivbaba sits here and teaches you. He is the father, the teacher, and the guru. He enters this one and teaches you souls. The father says, just as this one soul is sitting in the middle of the forehead, so I too come and sit here. I sit and explain to you. At first you were pure, but you have now become impure. Now remember me, the Father. No one can go back home without becoming pure. When you become pure, you will fly. Everyone calls out, "Oh, purifier, come, come and purify us so we can fly back to our home in the land of liberation." It is the home of us souls. Impure ones cannot go back home. Those who imbibe these teachings very well will go to heaven very quickly. Otherwise, they will come later. One should go into a new house because there is more enjoyment in a new house. You should first come down in the golden age. Mama and Baba go to heaven, and so why should you go any later? You can also follow Brahma. Continue to remember the Father. If there is any difficulty about anything, you can ask Shivbaba. Only by following Srimad will you become elevated. In the old world, you have continued to follow the directions of Ravan, the five vices. The number one vice is body consciousness. Your children now have to become soul conscious. I, a soul, am a resident of the supreme abode, which is also called the land of peace. No one else can explain such things. Only the Father explains, and you souls are listening to him through your organs. No one's body becomes spoiled in the golden age. Here, there is untimely death while just sitting somewhere. Such things do not exist in the golden age. That is called heaven. Swarg, paradise. We go around the cycle while taking rebirth, and we have now completed our 84 births. Then Baba comes and makes you children worthy of heaven. You have now become worthy of the new world. It is now hell. You have now come here to make your fortune of changing from residents of hell into residents of heaven. You say that you have come to shivbaba to make your fortune. You make your fortune every cycle. Every 5,000 years, we become residents of heaven. Then, as soon as it becomes the kingdom of Ravan, we became vicious. All are now impure and vicious. And it is only now that the Father comes and establishes the new world. There will just be you children in the new world. All the rest will go to the land of peace. Up above is the tree of souls. They will then go down at their own time. When it is our kingdom, no one of any other religion will be there. Then in the copper age, the kingdom of Ravan will start. Imbibe all these things very well. Here you have to change from residents of hell into residents of heaven. The human beings who are residents of hell are called devils, and the human beings who are residents of heaven are called deities. Now everyone has a devilish nature. The Father now sits here and helps you to make effort. He says, become pure. Continue to ask Baba in every situation. Some tell Baba, Baba, I have to lie in my business. I will not accumulate sin by telling lies. Will I? If they continue to remember the Father, the sins will be cut away. In today's world, everyone continues to commit sin. They accept so many bribes. The pictures at the exhibitions are maps. Such maps do not exist anywhere else. Even if someone were to copy them, when he sees them, he wouldn't understand the meaning of them. Many people come to the exhibitions and fairs. It is said, come and understand this knowledge for 7 days and you will become worthy of becoming residents of heaven. You are now residents of hell. This is so clear in the picture of the ladder. Thus is the impure world and the pure world is just above. Your children now promise shivbaba, Baba, I will definitely become a resident of heaven from a resident of hell. You are now making preparations to go to the temple of Shiv. This is why you must never indulge in vice. Many storms of Maya will come, but you mustn't allow yourselves to be striped, means to become impure. If you became impure, a great mistake would be made, and you would then have to experience great punishment from Dharamraj. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says, Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says, Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, in order to change from a human being into a deity, renounce your devilish nature and the habit of telling lies. Imbibe a divine nature. Second point, in order to return home, you must definitely become pure. Even when storms of Maya come, never perform any sinful actions with your physical organs. Blessing. May you be completely faithful and break away from everyone else and connect yourselves to the One on the basis of having true love. Explanation. Completely faithful children are those who do not have anyone except the Father's stars, the Father's praise, and the Father's knowledge in their thoughts and dreams. You have to belong to the one Father and none other. Let the love of your intellect be constantly connected to the One. You will then not be colored by the company of many. So, your first promise is, I will break away from everyone else and connect myself to only the one. To fulfill this promise means to be completely faithful. Slogan: the original stage of your truth will make you complete and perfect amidst adverse situations. Om Shanti